Hello, welcome to our van. We've just arrived at Caravan for 4 nights, so I thought I'd take this opportunity just to show you how we do storage in this new van, because it's a little bit different to our last one, and we do need to be thinking of how things might move around and make sure that doesn't happen because we're going to be going off-road. So follow me, I'm going to start in our bathroom. So first of all, before I unpack, when we're travelling, we set our shower like this so that nothing moves around. Now that is my Kmart laundry bag, which I particularly like. It's got a little flap, holds quite a bit of washing, and I've got some toiletries of gadgets on the wall. One for the razor, one for soap, and they're for my flannel, and they never fall off. They are amazing. So I'll sort that out a bit later. So in my overhead cupboards here, thinking you need to pack light, I just have spare paper towels and tissue boxes there. They're all biodegradable, so they're good. And my cleaning cloths and some clotheslines sit up in here. This is quite a big storage area, so it's great. In here, to set up my little plants, I have... Doug, you might have to have a look in there for me so I can show everybody. When we're travelling, this is where our items go, and I'll unpack them soon. But this holds towels, this holds sheets, cottons, and above that, if you can see in there, we put the flannelette sheets, which we need right now because overnight it's cold, and a throw blanket, and beach towels. So those little containers came from Kmart, and they are really, really good. Here is another linen space where I put the TV storage bag. Under here I have some extra bits and pieces like for car cleaning. I have a little electric heater when we're on grid, a sweeping broom, which is really, really good. Got that off Temu, and our Scrabble game and a little doorstop. In the bathroom cupboards, do you want to look at those ones? I've got some little plastic lids to actually contain items so they can't bounce around. And in the bottom, we haven't really filled it too much. I've done the same. These lift up. Just got them from Kmart, and I glued those on. The rest are much the same, just for storage. In here, this is just a little flap thing. We keep our spare soap, toothpaste, deodorants, a toilet spray, air freshener, and a hand sanitizer we use when we don't have water. And under here, we keep our spare shampoos, sun cream, some body washes, and down the bottom, insect control, and some general cleaning. And behind that, we have our toilet stuff. In this cupboard, we have hanging for our jackets, and Doug stores his laptop there and the drone. And in this cupboard, we have more camera stuff and laptops. So that's kind of a dedicated storage for our IT stuff. And our washing machine, which this is a really good little washing machine. I love it. I'll just move everything off to show you. I'm sure everyone knows this and does it already, but it's a good little storage basket. Also holds my pegs and some mesh bags for those delicate items. And I just leave that placemat there. It's just really a bit of a protector for the bench. Right, so into the kitchen. These are from Kmart, and they work really well as giving me a little bit of extra bench space. Just happen to fit that sink nicely. And when I'm using it, they go there, or they just sit up there. I have this little soap dish holder. When we are travelling, it sits into the cupboard underneath, and the water filter is protected by this back bar, so it stops things falling onto it. We use this little travel alarm clock when we are off grid so we can see the time during the night. It's a nice soft light. In the microwave for travelling, we have a Navigator microwave turntable storage bag and just a foods platter thing, so that's good. Right, so in our top drawer here, this is quite messy. It's a bit miscellaneous. Pens and bits and bobs, matches, coasters, the cover for our radio controls, batteries, whatever go there. In here we have just got our freezer bags, foils, and a fly net for food. And then into here, tea towels and dishcloths. The bottom drawer is where we store our barbecue items, and I have a bread tin in case I make bread. Behind that I have some other baking trays. Above the fridge is all the good stuff, crackers and chips, and we're not going to miss out on those, and an empty carton that we might use for bits and pieces. In our pantry, I have done it so that the heavy is at the bottom and progressively moving up. I have this plastic thing from Kmart because my salt and pepper, when we're travelling, they kind of shake themselves out and it was making a mess, so I put that in there. For that reason, we have this great little bin that you can push from the top, or you can operate it from foot pedal like that. That's wonderful, hardly moves. And then in the bottom cupboard we have some baskets with food tins, and underneath that potatoes and onions in a potato onion bag. Okay, in this little cupboard, another flat cupboard, we weren't sure what to do and we decided this is a good place for spices. Now, these are baby socks, which might seem nuts, but they stop the glass from rattling together and breaking, and if something did break, I'm hoping they'll contain the mess. And we have garbage bags there. So, that's that. Under the sink is just saucepans and frying pan and dishwashing liquid and toasters, etc. In our cupboards up here, we've made this like a little coffee nook. Now, we're really happy with instant coffee when we're off grid, and we just treat ourselves to real coffee if we're in town. So, ceramic mugs here. I made a little foam bag with a divider here, so each cup can sit there and not smash against each other. Our travel mugs are there, coffee, sugar, spare coffee there. Here we have a plastic container from Kmart that holds all our glasses and cupware, little bug mug, bowls. And this is a plate holder from Kmart that holds our plates, and that also acts as holding the bowls down so they don't jump around, which has been a very nice bonus. These are also from Kmart. They're just a decorative thing, they don't hurt and they protect the bench. For the stove, also Kmart. Kmart is my friend. What I do here is I leave one here on the bench, and you can have whatever colour you like, and I use it as a prep area to help protect the bench. When we're eating and the table's out, we have one each of these placemats. We just sit along there when the table's open, which I'll open up now. So they just sit like this, and when we're computing so our laptops don't scratch the table, we also use them for that. But I'm going to shut that up again because I want to show you what we've done under the table. So here we have general storage items. On the other side I've put all my microwave stuff, obviously only when we're on power. And in this cupboard we have decided to put in DVDs and books. That's easy to get, easier for them to be there. These couch covers come from Temu because I was using these blankets, but every time we hopped on the seats they were moving. So now they're just a little throw rug. During the day we actually just sit them up there. And so that's that area covered. So more storage in the kitchen. Under the oven I have got some heavy items down there in a basket so they can't move. It's all about keeping things corralled at the moment. Then in the top drawer, and this is working rather well, I have a container here to hold some of my serving items, cutlery here, and bits and bobs in the middle. It just doesn't move, it's wonderful. In the second drawer, my little plants can come out. I have a couple of wash bowls that we'll actually use while we're off grid, so I'll leave those out. These for the microwave, but I've got stacking bowls, which is a colander and a sieve. I've got jugs with measuring. The breadboard sits there, and some cork mats for anything that's hot. So that's working really well. I'm happy with that. And down the bottom, I've just got some containers of flour in there. Oh, and I see a lid's popped off. Look at that. I'll have to fix that. Now, over here, we haven't even filled everything. We've got so much room. But I've just put, again, containers to hold things. Got some noodles and other bits and bobs in that cupboard. In this cupboard, bit of dried veggies, avocado mixes, soups, and some porridge for breakfast. Again, we haven't filled it all. That's just spare foil and not really using what's at the back. Again, just holding everything in one place. And in our electronics cupboard, we have a little tray to hold notebooks and pens and papers and that we want to get to occasionally. Right, now before I move out of here, you might have noticed I have mats on the floor. These are just from Kmart, and they're great because they go in a washing machine, easy peasy, wash up well. Between the seats I made a macrame mat, and it's just really keep the floor a bit clean and warmer. And I also have one in the bathroom. Now while I'm back in the bathroom, I forgot to mention that I've used more of those toiletry hooks up on the wall, and they hold my cleaning cloths and a dish mat down the bottom that we use instead of a dish rack that we drain our dishes on, which is this thing here. These are fantastic. They just pull off. You can move them whenever you like and they don't cause any damage. So I love those. Those are toiletries books. Okay, so into the bedroom. I'm going to start on my side. So I just hang my hat there. But in here I have another hook for a cap. And while my clothes do not fully hang, I wanted a shelf to keep my cubby free. So I have used in here you can just see that there. That's some Kmart yoga mat over the top of a shoe rack that we modified. So it gives me a shelf. That means everything in my little cubby is not got clothes in the way. So I'll put that back up there. Up in the top, we just put our warm gear so it's light and easy to get to if we need it. And on the side tables, I cut one of those placemats from Kmart up just to protect the surfaces again with our bits and pieces. And in here, not that you need to see my undies, but this is great. Also from Kmart for linen, and it holds everything nice and neatly. Now over here, just t-shirts and warm track pants. My shorts are in a little container at the back of the hanging clothes in the wardrobe. And down here, I've just got togs and some raincoats and a pair of shoes. Under the bed here, I'll just lift this up to show you. I did make a little hanging thing. The hot water bottle's there. Sometimes I put my shoes in there, and that holds our lid for the saucepans in it. Nice and padded so nothing goes wrong with that. And Doug's side is much the same. He's got his hanging, his warm clothes there, his t-shirts and shorts in here. And I cut one of those mats in half and put on either side of our bed so when we get out, if it's cold, we don't have freezing feet. Now under the bed, this is how we've done it. So we have our diesel heater. So at the back, I have a little container again from Kmart. It's a bag I got from the baby section. It can go into 3 bits. I've got it squashed to 1. I have my iron under there and the top of my Thermomix cooking. No, I don't have the iron. I have something else in there. There's my iron. I have a little vacuum where on power. All its bits go in there. These are for extra throw rugs and a slightly less thick duvet for if it's hot weather. A fan for off-grid because that runs on battery. The Thermomix that I take to use cooking when we're on power. I have a little ironing board in there. A mop and a flask. So that's how we've done it anyway, and it's kind of really working well at the moment. There's nothing we would really change about storage, and we're very happy with it. But I'd really like to know, what do you do? What have you done differently? What works or hasn't worked? And leave a note in the comments because we'd really like to know what you've done, because you can always learn something new. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope that's been of some help for you. So a couple more things I forgot to mention. These bowls we got from Anaconda, they store flat for storage, which is great, but when we're off-grid we need to save water. Now we were just off-grid for 10 days and we still had some water left in our jerrys because we were cautious like most people are. They've also got little silicone rubber feet, and what we do, because our sink is so big, takes so much water, we use this to wash our dishes in. So that just sits in the bowl and that's how we wash up. It's small but it does the job. Also, I got this from Tupperware a while ago and it's great. It keeps things hot for ages with water. Got a nice sturdy base with a little silicone ring at the bottom so it doesn't mark. And when we've bought a kettle when we're off grid, we'll fill up what's left in there to keep it hot for hours. So that's handy. We also fill up our jerry cans from outside to avoid using our pumps. Leave that for showering if we need. And we just top that up from the jerrys during the day. And we have another one of those things. Bowls just here in the bathroom sink again for rinsing hands, or if we're going to do our teeth we'll use that just to save the water. So those are just a couple more things I'd add on, and one more thing is the fridge. Again, I mentioned it's all about stacking and holding and doing things, so everything is contained, the most important beer and Pepsi, but we put everything into containers. That's a container in containers. We stack the fridge like most people would to make sure things don't move, and find that works very well. Okay, thanks for watching.